Hello, I'm Dr. Rajeshwari Rapata and I'm speaking from the online Sai Sanjeevani Homeopathy Clinic. Today we are going to discuss about homeopathy for injuries. So here homeopathy can be given alongside physical therapy if it is necessary, and it can improve outcomes significantly in case of injuries, and then you can get back to the game on the running track or dance floor and much more, and that too very quickly. Homeopathy works precisely by matching the symptoms picture of your injury, including your constitutional factors where relevant, whatever like susceptibility to the injury or long term weakness or tendency to slow healing. So, the right remedy here matches powerfully and stimulates the healing process. That means the stiffness, the pain, the inflammation in an acute injury will typically reduce more quickly, returning you to the full strength promptly and without further complications. Homeopathy is also useful for long-term effects of the sport injuries. I've seen cases where a past injury has not healed very well and it continued to affect a person's health for many years afterwards. Here, the homeopathic treatment can often resolve old injuries and underlying weaknesses, thus freeing you and get back to health and whatever you love doing. So here there are the remedies like Bellis perennis, which is useful for the injuries of the trunk and also of the deeper tissues. It may result due to falls, accidents from car injuries, or if you feel stiffness, if you feel there is a weakness. So this remedy helps you from the injuries of the trunk, deeper tissues. It may be from falls or car accidents, surgeries, etc. Especially if there is a feeling of stiffness and coldness which develops in the injured area. Also, if arnica has been given primarily, especially in a strain or bruise, but it has not given much effect, then Bellis perennis can be useful here. Then hypericum is also a good remedy which relieves the sharp pains that follows the nerve's path. And other remedies like Aconitum napellus, which is also useful when there is acute injury and the patient is extremely fearful and agitated after the injury. So it helps to reduce the anxiety, soothes the pain and panic, also any case of shock. Next is the Arnica montana. It helps in the bruising and swelling following trauma, also in after surgical operations. Then is Calcarea fos. Calcarea fos is used for the slow healing fractures or any injuries that lead to soreness in the bones, especially in the area which feels cold and numb and improves with warmth. And the muscles nearby the injury may ache or stiffen. Next is calendula, both in the dilution potency form and in the ointment form. It can be used to apply on the chapped, lacerated injuries. And ipecac is also a good medicine when heavy bleeding is there after an injury with a feeling of nausea and weakness. Also, it is important that emergency care, first aid care is crucial if serious bleeding occurs. Pressure should be applied to a severely bleeding wound and medical help should be found immediately. Next is the ledum pal, which is frequently used, called as a homeopathic tetanus toxide, and it is usually a medicine which is used where injuries due to blunt objects, where there is pain and bruising. So these bruises from the blunt objects, especially where the skin is very thin, like around the eyes, fingers and toes, and this pain and bruising is very sharp and acute. Then there is another medicine called as millefolium, which is also used for contusions and sprays that involve small broken blood vessels which lead to bruise like bleeding beneath the skin, and that suggests the use of this remedy. It is often useful for the nosebleeds after injury and for bleeding in other parts of the body, like after childbirth or surgery. So, this medicine is quite useful and frequently used. Another medicine is phosphorus when small wounds bleed easily, and a person has a tendency to bruise from the minor injuries and bleed easily. So, it is also useful for the nosebleeds. Then there is the ruta gravulans, which is frequently used for ankle sprains. It relieves the strained ligaments and tendons, especially the women who wear the heeled sandals and then they sprain the ankles. This medicine is frequently used. Another medicine is symphytum. It is best known for the healing effect on the broken bones and is very good for the bone bruises. And it is valuable if the blunt injury occurs to the eyeball, either from a rock, a stick, or a flying object. So, any injury to the eye, it is useful. But it should be examined by an ophthalmologist before and should determine the seriousness of the injury. So, these are the different medicines which are frequently used for the injuries, and this homeopathy works very well in case of sports injuries or any kinds of injuries. So, this is the just a brief about the homeopathy for injuries, but in how to consult the homeopathic physician if you require the complete treatment.